Aloha and welcome back. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment. Let me know what you like, what you wanna hear more of, less of, whatever. All right, so I want to talk about Kyle Kulinski right now. He was one of my favorite news people, commentators, and I watched him every day. I watched almost all of his segments every day, and I started noticing maybe a year and a half ago that he seemed to me to start drifting to the right a bit, and it's a little upsetting, but I kept watching him. But then when Kamala Harris started running, he just became a Democrat, and that is too far right for me. So it's crazy. He's now a Democrat sycophant, and so we are going to get into that.
All right, so as you guys know, AOC was being considered for head of the Oversight Committee, and it's a very, very important role because it's like one of the Democrats who's most front and center and holding people in MAGA accountable, right?
With the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later.
Right. So she wanted to be the head of Oversight. She was close, but she ended up losing the preliminary vote and then losing the vote once it went to the full caucus. And this is real insult to injury, salt in the wound type stuff. So this is the person, the Democrat Connolly, who beat AOC. He goes on MSNBC to talk about this. And this is disgusting. So let's listen and then I'll break it down.
You ran against Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You won decisively, 131 votes to 84 votes. What does that say, do you think, to the American people about where the Democratic Party is?
So I think there's been a lot of nonsense, frankly, on the generational change. What the Democratic caucus did was try to put their best generals on the battleground. Who's qualified? Who has proved their mettle? Who's got the skill set? And
we came, we saw, he died.
Who has proved their mettle?
It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society.
And it had nothing to do with how old people were. It had to do with do they bring capability? Can they function?
Are we serious right now? As you can see, Democrats and Republicans, they basically just project. They say the same stuff about each other, but they do the same things. Let's get me rid of here, and then back to Kyle.
You're 74 years old and you have cancer. You have esophageal cancer. You said it has nothing to do with age? Literally the whole reason you got this position was seniority and Pelosi made phone calls. This is just gaslighting the entire nation and gaslighting AOC and lying about the nature of reality. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth. I'm a careerist hack. I want to climb the ladder, and I played the game right and went up the hierarchy, and so it's my turn. It's my turn. The it's my turn mentality, that's why we got Joe Biden thinking he was going to run in 2024 and dropping out at the last minute because his brain was leaking out of his ears. This mentality that this guy has is literally the exact problem in the Democratic Party. This obsession with institutionalism and seniority and decorum and civility and hierarchy.
See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son.
I think we're all grateful, son.
Civility and hierarchy, eh?
That's not a way to do politics.
That's how the Democrats do politics.
If there's a Republican politician that pops and gets some juice and the base starts to like them, they put that motherfucker front and center. They'll put them on TV everywhere. They'll give them some high-ranking position. On the Democratic side, if you stick out, even if it's the base loves you and the media loves you.
So my question is, if you know anything about Kyle Kulinski, why are you doing this? Why are you sucking the Democratic toes or whatnot? Why are you such a sycophant for the Democrats now? You used to be for the truth. You used to be for the people. Why? What happened? Trump derangement syndrome? Trump got you like this, really? That you are just a total Democrat now? You done left the left? You're a Democrat?
They'll fucking bury you. Hey, you disagreed with the leadership one time, so you're persona non grata around here, son. Get out. Usually overstate how bad Trump is, and they understate how bad Biden is. This is straight up disrespectful from this dude. One more time. Here we go. You're 74 years old and you have esophageal cancer. Homie, go watch some movies and eat some cookie dough ice cream and chill. Go lay on a beach in Miami.
I totally agree with him on this. Like him, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump too. A lot of these people, man, just retire already. Like that's a lot of the reason that some younger people don't have jobs that people used to retire. Like what, 55? Now if you're working till you're 70, 80 and you're like the CEO, you're missing a whole generation or maybe even two who would have been a CEO for a little while, then retired and like got to take care of their family. Like, go ahead and spend your later years enjoying your life. Like, it's part of having a good job and working a good career is that you can retire. Go retire so other people can work that good job and retire too.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
He wants you to believe he's going to be the face of taking on MAGA and holding the right accountable.
Oh my.
Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
That's what I'm thinking to Kyle right here. He pushed Kamala so hard and now you're pushing the Dems so hard. The Dems are just going to the right. Democrats are just moving to the right. And you're going to push them. And if people want to vote for right-wing Republicans, they're going to vote for right-wing Republicans, not Democrats that are kind of like right-wing Republicans. But man, Kyle used to be my favorite, and now he's just a Democrat. It sucks.
Cancer is a horrible thing to deal with. It is rough. You gotta fight. You're gonna be tired a lot. You're gonna be worn down. Your brain is not gonna be firing on all cylinders. Like chemotherapy and radiation, I mean, it's literally it's toxic, it's poisonous. It not only kills the cancer cells, it also kills your healthy cells, which is why people look really raggedy and worn down when they're going through it. It's a rough thing to go through, bro. You deserve sympathy and rest and relaxation and no worries.
And universal health care.
To be front and center taking on MAGA. You're the figurehead of taking on MAGA, a 74-year-old with esophageal cancer who nobody could pick out of a fucking lineup. And this is just total cope, the idea of, bro, just the best generals on the battlefield. Nobody knows who you are. You've been in politics for fucking 9 terms. Nobody has any idea who you are. And also, let's be real.
Okay, let's see. He's babbling a bit now. I want to get to some other videos that kind of show Kyle's hypocrisy right here. This is Jimmy Dore showing how disappointing Kyle has gotten lately.
And Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, as bad as Biden is, you guys are significantly worse, and it's not even close. The Democrats are just way better. They're just way better. They're a trillion times better than Republicans. All right, so there's a lot I have to say in response to this. These kinds of criticisms from this guy, I honestly believe that these people usually overstate how bad Trump is, and they understate how bad Biden is. Well, you're more ideologically in agreement with Biden than you are in agreement with Trump.
Listen to him.
Well, actually, when it comes to the First Step Act, I agree with Trump on that. When it comes to pardoning Alice Johnson, I agree with Trump on that. When it comes to TPP, Trump's against it, Biden's for it. I agree with Trump on that. I agree more with Trump on North Korea than I agree with Biden. I would need to be convinced that Biden would fight for at least 1 or 2 of my top 5 issues.
And now he's a Democrat
Medicare for all, free college,
none of that, nope.
Living wage,
nope.
Ending the wars,
nope.
And UBI.
Nope, none of that.
People who say Trump is a fascist and they think...
So Kamala wasn't for none of that, Biden wasn't for none of that, and he's just sitting here sucking the teat of the Democrats.
He's like, basically, we can't survive another 4 years of America with him. Yes! The country will survive 4 years with Trump. The country will survive 4 years with Joe Biden.
Right.
Again, I think they understate how bad Biden is. Why? On so many core issues, he's against us.
me at least. I can't speak for this guy. Joe Biden pushed for NAFTA. He repeatedly pushed for TPP.
See, it's all in the hair.
He's a supporter of the Iraq
Grease his
War.
brains out over here.
On all the pivotal issues of his time, he was wrong. So stop overstating how bad Trump is. The country's still going to exist in 4 years. And understating how bad Biden is. Because it's annoying. I just don't agree with the people who are like, he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, the country's not going to exist in 4 years. You're hyperbolic and you're ridiculous.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
And over to Fox News for some Democratic strategists talk.
Well, Democratic strategists admit that the party brand is, quote, in the toilet. That came out in a New York Times written online conversation yesterday. Communications strategist Liz Smith said many of the Democrats who succeeded this cycle ran against the Democratic Party brand. Former Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan of Ohio with this: the Dems got pinned as the status quo party. They failed to redefine themselves on the culture issues. Here's what the former Democratic leader of the California State Senate has to say about it.
I believe that in history, we are seeing a major inflection point, the complete collapsing of the Democratic Party.
That would be nice.
This party refuses to recognize that it has lost its way. It's a chapter. It's, gone with the wind. And basically, we are seeing the end of this. Whether a new party emerges, that will wait to be seen.
That's not good. Politico with this headline: new research shows the massive hole that the Dems are in. Even voters who previously backed Democrats cast the party as weak and overly focused on diversity and elites.
But this is a systemic problem, as the interviews you reported suggest. And it's greater than just woke or DEI.
You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts your backfire. So you say
change
stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now. You're talking about cutting taxes, and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things. And the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than white.
All right, like you said, you can't say nigger, nigger, nigger. But now they go to woke and DEI, thug, all these different words. Same thing, different, just different time. They always got to evolve the words. So if you don't know who this is Lee Atwater over there. This is Lee Atwater. Look him up. He was a Republican strategist for Ronald Reagan, and I think before Reagan too. But yeah, so he has a little bit to do with our laws and whatnot.
Gabrielle, I want to talk to you about this. This is another excerpt from that Politico piece. When asked to compare the Democratic Party to an animal, one participant compared the party to an ostrich because, quote, they've got their heads in the sand and are absolutely committed to their own ideas, even when they're failing. Another likened them to koalas, who are complacent and lazy about getting policy wins that we really need.
Hard-hitting
So
questions.
if they were an animal, what animal would they be, Gabrielle?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Really
I'll
good.
tell you this, the Democrat Party, I cannot recognize it. I'm a former Democrat. I voted for Hillary Clinton. I was all about women empowerment and what she stood for. And
I'm not sure that I agree with what Hillary Clinton
They are
stands
often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
Called out President Clinton for defending Secretary Clinton's use of the term
Good job, Bernie.
super predator back in the 90s when she supported the crime bill. Why did you call him out?
Because it was a racist term and everybody knew it was a racist term.
No conscience.
It's a very well thought out crime bill that is both smart and tough.
No empathy.
Called black youth super predators in 1994. Please explain your record.
Because it was a racist term and everybody knew it was a racist term.
Here's his barely intelligible, not to mention ungrammatical take on President Trump in a new ESPN podcast. Must they run their mouths like that? Unfortunately. And it's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
Isn't this kind of stereotypical?
that people expect a sports guy, a black guy on ESPN to toe the line or else. And yet, you know what? Because of you, I watch more and more ESPN, and I don't find that to be the case at all. I find a lot of different opinions and a lot of different guys in a lot of different areas. But isn't that problematic?
It's problematic.
Not to Laura Ingraham.
I wouldn't confine it to the world of sports. I think that the Democratic Party have been very adroit and skilled up until recently in really coming across as if they have this high moral ground to stand on,
yes.
and essentially guilting people into believing whatever it is that they're singing about. And I think that that ship has sailed now. I think that with these latest election results, the American people have spoken. There's no way around that. When you consider the fact that Donald Trump won all the swing states, that he basically elevated his cachet in every demographic that you can find. He won the popular vote as well as the electoral college vote. It was an indictment against the Democratic Party. They went too far left. They ignored the common sense, middle of the road.
So that's nonsense. Bernie Sanders is much further left than most of the Democrats. We have a right-wing party. We have two right-wing parties. We need a left-wing party. When Bernie was running, he had a lot of hype, a lot of people backing him. Barack Obama ran as a left-winger. He won. He had a lot of hype, a lot of backing him. Bill Clinton even seemed kind of left for the time, right? Like he was more a people person. But the Democratic Party did not go too far left. They didn't go left enough. They went too far right. So when AOC was more honest and truthful.
We don't have a left party in the United States. The Democratic Party is not a left party.
So the Democratic Party is a right-wing party. We need to leave the Democrats. Just leave the Democratic Party. They're not going to do anything for us. They're not a people party. They're a corporate party. They're there for the money. So I started with Kyle Kulinski, and he is now a Democratic sycophant. I don't believe that we can trust him anymore. We need these left-wing YouTube channels to build the Green Party or the Democratic Socialists of America, or both. I'm pretty sure you could run on both tickets at the same time. Either way, build both parties. Build a left-wing party. We need somewhere to go outside of the Democratic Party. We need to get AOC to run in the Green Party if she's really going to be true to her old words, but I think she might be too far gone. If we can get Bernie Sanders to run in the Green Party, that would be fantastic. But we just need people to start filling the Green Party DSA, but we need people like Kyle. We need people like Sam Cedar in the Majority Report, the Humanist Report. All these so-called leftists are wanting to fight the right channels, like wanting to be against Trump, anti-Trump. If you're anti-Trump, why are you voting for a stroke of the pen Kamala? She's going to put you in jail anyway and laugh about it. What is the difference if a black woman puts you in jail or an orange man puts you in jail? It doesn't matter. I don't, like, what? So, yes, we got two right-wing parties. Let's push a left-wing party. Kyle, got to go. All these left-wing, crystal ball, got to go. We need Green Party all the way. And until next time, I'm out.